You forgot to say 1.
I did it in the video. You didn't see
I
it.
know. All right. So we had 3/4 of the team last week for half a session. We're going to have 3/4 of the team for half a session this week. Is there anybody who was here last week to catch up the players who were not here on what kind of shenaniganery we got up to for a nice, crisp previously on Dungeons and Dragons?
Where was I last week? I don't even know.
You had family in from out of town.
Yes. Got it.
Or at the very least, that was the lie we were told.
No, they were here. We went thrifting. It was a great day. So, Mark, I think that's you or Meg previously on D&D.
Oh, previously on D&D, we left Tropos. We set on, or we got in the boat. Went to Boot.
Mute.
Yes, mute, whatever. We met Kamal, the proprietor of Flotsam and Jetsam, the junk store. We found out somebody is impersonating Oni,
And
possibly
the whole group.
Pepperoni.
The whole group is being impersonated.
Oh yeah, that's right. The whole group is being impersonated, but we asked about that. And then we went back to our boat. And we found out that it's being impounded for being a silver hand boat, and we were going to they were going to arrest us as slavers, but we said that everybody was already free on the boat, which backed up our consultant's story. So they let everybody go. Our consultants are going to wait for us in the inn, which I don't know the name of the inn, and Masika and Kafir, the 2 high-value slaves plus the 3 courtesans, are planning on joining us, and I don't know what happened to the rest of everybody. So that's the best I got.
Cool. We also fought storm elementals on the boat in a randomish style encounter. And I think that's about it. Yeah, you face some potential legal troubles here.
Oh yeah, we need to go talk to a magistrate to see if we can maintain control of our boat.
Or at least to get reimbursed for the salvageable supplies from the ship so that we can purchase a vessel for our crew to be able to continue sailing.
Before we get into any more, we have inspiration for last week. There's not an immediate standout to my memory, so who do you guys think should gain an inspiration token today based on their valor, good role play, or exceptional averageness last session?
I feel like my character was exceptionally average.
Oh, jeez. Not Draco.
Not Draco is a popular choice.
I
feel like Amon actually did do something piloted by Hoppy, by Mark. I don't remember what did Amon do. Oh, he I think got kills on both of the 2 lightning elementals on the boat.
Nice. Sounds like me.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Kill stealing fucktard, yeah.
I feel like there wasn't like a lot of the session wasn't super meaty, so there wasn't a lot. So Amon gets the inspiration.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sure.
Token to Amon. I will start then by showing everybody the same thing so everybody's on the same page. This was the exchange board showing optional subquests here in Moot. There was immediate interest, obviously, in the Get in the Pit fight matches, which we might be able to get to today because that's something we can do relatively easy. I know that Oni and Draco both wanted to look at destroying the Mirror of Aversion, but I told them last week I will want all 5 players present for that one. So you take a moment to examine this. I have also populated the inventory for Flotsam and Jetsam this week, so we can take a look at items that are on special discount at the Magic Items store, and then you can tell me what you guys want to do with our half-a-sesh.
We were going to, so when we went to the inn, that's where we found out. I failed my performance check, and so I was trying to tell them about who we were, and that's when we found out that I'm not apparently Oni because somebody has been in this town. Like, they're like riding our coattails. So our plan was to go to the pit and do some reconnaissance and see if we could figure out who was pretending to be our crew. And then
Are they fighting in the pit?
potentially fight them. We figured if they were anywhere, since they're, promoting themselves as champions, that's where we would find them. And I think at the time, before we ended up calling it a half session, we were going to go, and you and Renan were going to stay at the inn and try to get additional information. But I think we'll end up not doing that and just go together, because we got to find out who these people are. The buttholes.
Sweet.
There's only one Oni. Oh, and we also didn't go over stories, because letters from Alea, because we were going to do that when the group was together. So you didn't miss that. We haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering about that. I was like, wait, did everyone share their messages? Because
No. Draco isn't going to share his, so we could do that today. If you want to start there.
Yeah, 100.
I
If
mean,
you're asking me, I don't care.
yeah, are we still gonna share him with him though, or because he's not sharing his, we're not
He'll
sharing
be
them
able
with?
to- He'll be able to watch the VOD. He's usually pretty good about that.
Him?
Oh, I got Robot Michelle.
I love the way that her video was paused just now, though.
Oh, I just see her graphic, her blue and white graphic.
For me, it's like the sneezed DMV photo where her eyes are like gently closed like this.
No.
Can you see me?
Just wait for the flash.
Mhm.
I can.
Wow, it's really laggy today.
Okay. Hey, it's not much better today. What?
Someone saying something?
I heard Caleb say or ask, is someone saying something?
So moving us forward, the other thing that we didn't know was what kind of inventory we had to sell. So if you want to go to the shops, we didn't sell anything and we didn't buy anything because we weren't sure what the group bank looked like and whether or not we had items to sell. That's why we were thinking of ways to make money so that we knew that we...
I know that you have items to sell, but I also know that Michelle has historically been sort of the bank, so I didn't want to... If she's not here for buying and selling, I always feel like here is the Flotsam and Jetsam inventory that is like specially highlighted, so you guys can have a peek. It is larger, but hopefully more landscapey, so it should be easier to see at once.
Yeah, much better, thank you.
What is the
The moon bow.
Oh. Boots of
I want
Steel.
that so bad. I want to shoot the moon.
Mm-mm.
Hoppy wants to know what
Yeah,
the Sentinel's blade is.
The Sentinel's Blade is a +1 greatsword that has a bonus ability. Whenever you successfully make an opportunity attack with this weapon, the enemy must make a DC 15 strength check or have their movement speed reduced to 0 until the start of their next turn. It's the You Shall Not Pass Oak Blade.
Nice.
Nice.
What is the moon bow?
The Moonbow is a +1 longbow that has the special secondary ability of once per long rest, allowing the wielder to cast Moonbeam as a 3rd level druid spell, which does 3d10 radiant damage with a con save of 15 for half. It has a,
Ooh.
a unique property that in Moonlight, the Moonbeam spell instead deals 4d10, and enemies in the beam have disadvantage on their con saving throws.
Jeez. Cool, cool. I think we need to make some money, folks.
Somebody
Yeah.
needs to sword.
We have 640 gold pieces. We need to make money.
Okay. Then our plan will be, do you want to sell stuff first, or would you like to go make some money, do pit stuff, and then come back and we'll sell and make purchases together?
Out of
It makes
curiosity,
more
what's the
Sounds good.
mage summon?
What'd you say?
Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
I heard like 3 people at once, and Michelle,
okay.
ladies first. You were speaking. What did you have to say?
I was just gonna say, it makes more sense to me for us to make money so we can decide what we're keeping and what we're getting rid of. And if we don't make a lot of money,
Sell.
then we're gonna have to sell more stuff. Does that make sense?
Mark, I heard your voice too. As you were asking about the Mantle of the Mage Hunter.
Yeah.
That is a magic cloak that protects the wielder against spells and spellcasters. Specifically, it grants you advantage on all saving throws versus spells.
Nice. And the Cloak of Protection?
Cloak of Protection is a pretty bog standard +1 to AC and all saving throws.
I need that.
Because your saving throws suck butts.
Uh-huh.
Multiple butts.
Multiple
Mhm.
butts. All the butts.
And be like in the cacophony of voices. Caleb, did I hear you also have a thought or a question?
I just asked about the moonbow previously. That was the only
Okay.
question.
Okay. So shall we do Alea letters first, or do you want to do that later, like in the tavern, and we can go to the magistrate first and see if we can get reimbursed for the value of the ship, and then go to the pit for recon, and then maybe
Let's do
get
that.
some money.
Yeah.
Okay, to the magistrate with our bargaining guys that are coming with us to make the case for us.
You just wanna hire
Bargain.
NPCs to do
Bargain.
everything. As you enter the halls of arbitration, you are greeted by the attendance of Arbiter Kiro. He is the person in charge today, at the very least. There is like a series of rotating arbiters that will hear cases. He is the one that has been assigned your case. There are 3 chambers in this room. Yours is the centralmost chamber. You're the center ring of the 3-ring circus. I have decided to have this arbitration take place over as long a period of time as you want to, but as a skill challenge. Whilst you're waiting for your case to be heard, one of the potential tasks that can be performed to help us navigate the skill challenge is familiarizing yourself with the City of Moot's legal code and the process that lies before you. Who do you think would be best suited to do that job?
The guy that ran the
Me.
books for the ship, and Amon. Those two are gonna
Yeah.
work together.
Me and the NPC.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Then I would like for Amon to make a history check with advantage.
Don't fuck it up, Amon.
Also, don't forget you get +1 from Alea's token.
Okay. Okay. That's how this game's
That's
gonna
20,
go.
baby.
Okay.
Until we
Alright.
get into a fight, and then Meg's gonna
Until I try to make
get
an
3
awesome entrance.
crit fails.
So this is our first, I think, ever critical success on a skill challenge, which exceeds the DC of the skill challenge by 10 or more, which results in 2 successes towards the challenge.
Excellent.
Well
Hell
done,
yeah.
Amon. You take a cursory reading of some of the available materials, but you also just have a general understanding from your own life's work. Maybe you've even been in court in Moot on one of your longer rangings. It's a pretty standard process. There will be a gallery of people interested in the case. There will be witnesses that get heard. You arrive in this courtroom. Both sides will make sort of an opening statement of why they're here, why their position is what it is. The arbiter will then hear evidence. He will weigh the value of that evidence and then will rule, making a decision that is binding. And all parties agree by showing up here that they will agree to the binding decision. There is no real appeals process to this, but it historically has a very strong reputation of being pretty fair. This is sort of like a legal mecca in the house, in the kingdom of Amon-Ra. Not really. We're far away from the authoritarian rule of pharaohs because I say so, and here they're sort of ruled by logic and reason. You have a little while before your case is to be heard and opening statements are made. Would you like to use this time to talk to each other about Alea's messages? Would you like to do anything to prep for the trial? Would you guys like to come back in an hour and do something else?
What else? Is there anything else we can do to prep for the trial?
Let's see. You could work on your opening appeal. You could scout the area and see if you can overhear like what would be the prosecution in our normal judicial system and see what kind of case they're building against you.
It sounds like something for Renan.
I like the idea of sharing our messages, though.
Okay.
It's a totally fair and fine use of time.
I feel like there's got to be useful stuff in there, and it would be helpful to all of us.
So
Maybe I'm reading into it.
Sure. I can take us back to something less ominous. I guess we could just do the Alea fire form page.
All right, Renan, would you like to go first?
Sure. I will read mine to you now. It warms my heart to see you embrace the family you found. I have watched as you struggled to find your place among them as a sister, a chaperone, a troublemaker, and an emotional touchstone. The flaming specter's brilliant fire begins to dim, and her face softens as she looks upon you lovingly. You have lost so much in your short years. It is remarkable that you can find joy and purpose in what you've been given. Joining your sister in her campaign to snuff out the silver flame is the right thing, perhaps the very thing you have spent a lifetime preparing for. But do take care. I sense that your victory against the flame will be certain and costly. And then she goes away.
Okay.
And fire opal.
And fire opal.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, who would like to go next?
Give me just a second to pull it up. I'll go next. You are a curious addition to my extended family in life and even beyond. Through my children, I have collected lost souls, hard luck cases, and the occasional oddity. You have the resilience of Myoni and keen senses of Amon, but I think your soul reminds me of Sari, not certain of your place in this world. The fiery soul of Alea conjures two small minotaur spritlings from the fire. One is clad in the trappings of a gladiator and sits on a throne of skulls, wrapped in the trappings of great wealth. The other soars through the sky atop a large griffin. He wears shamanic vestments and seems peacefully in balance.
Aww.
Your path to coronation begins in the maze of Ish. Your path to harmony begins with Thisbe, the Grand Master of the area. The flaming specter's brilliant fire begins to dim, and her face softens as she looks upon you lovingly. Joining Sari in her quest against the silver flame will create an opportunity to fill another possible destiny. This quest is just, but I fear you will lose much in the endeavor. The avatar of Alea begins to flare out, dissipating from the bottom. She smiles, wrinkling her old wizened face as a lone tear streams down her cheek. She doesn't say any more, but you can feel her love warming you as her fury form discorporates. The lone tear she sheds remains coalesced into a small gemstone, flickering fire. And of course, I'm going to be going to be looking for Thisbe.
That's awesome.
Although I may need to wear 2 griffins as roller skates, but
maybe Drew's gonna get really big. You don't know.
if I keep feeding him random shit, we keep fighting.
Amon, would you like to share yours next?
Sure. Amon, you have kept our family together, but I fear you bear more of a burden than is entirely yours. From the first time you took me on one of your rangings, I knew you would find the best path. But I fear you forget that while you can show everyone the best path to take, the one each person chooses to walk is their responsibility alone. Only after my death could I appreciate the irony of a scout and ranger who does not know his own true path. The fiery soul of Alea explodes into 1,000 small firefly-like points in a flame in the air where she was standing. You recognize them as the constellations in the night sky. Her avatar manifests again before you as a small older woman as she appeared just in life before her passing. She's building a fire and draws something in the sand and invites you to look over. And you see the mark of Anubis, not unlike the tattoo your friend claims to have seen on your body. And she says, I knew your mother. In fact, it was Natini's last wish that I keep you safe. She also made me swear never to reveal your birthright. It seems fate is inescapable. If you wish to know who you are and what you are, seek the answers in the house of the midnight sun. The flaming
Whoa.
specter's brilliant fire burns to dim, and her face softens as she just looks upon you lovingly. Join Sari's quest against the Silver Flame, or joining Sari's quest against the Silver Flame is the best decision you could have made for her. It is the righteous cause worthy of your effort and possibly of your sacrifice. Until next we see each other, be well, my child.
That's awesome.
And then I get an open.
Damn.
These are amazing.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
Here's mine. Oh, my dear sweet child, you've grown into yourself, haven't you? I'm glad to see our family remains strong and well guarded. After a moment's pause, the fiery soul of Alea points to your scarred arm. You have been marked by a beast of chaos. Earning that mark was likely no small feat, but it will continue to spread if you cannot cleanse it. Set's wrathful curse can only be undone by the magic of a Naki, a pure-hearted servant of Sekhmet. I knew of such a priestess who rode the great Idaru River in a silvered sailing barge. Her name is Mother Marwa. Seek her out to remove this curse before you fall to chaos. The flaming specter's brilliant fire begins to dim and her face softens as she looks upon you lovingly. You were raised to believe in serving others, fighting for the greater good. Joining your sister in her campaign to snuff out the silver flame is the right thing. Perhaps the very thing you have spent a lifetime training for. But do take care. I sense that your victory, though achievable, will be costly. So I'm looking for Mother Marwa.
All right.
On the river that we happen to be at.
Perfect.
Yep.
In fairness, it is a river that runs the entire north-south of this continent.
Yes.
But
But hopefully that means that we'll be able to find her. Those were amazing. Oh my god, I only knew what mine said. Okay, Are we going back to the skill challenge? Foof.
They're
Yeah,
all really good.
After a heartfelt exchange of personalized messages, a small, like, metallic chime sound signals, and the doors to the central chamber are flung open. A series of disgruntled people sort of shove their way past you, seemingly frustrated with the decision they received. A second set of people follow behind them, brimming ear to ear with a gleeful smile. That chime tolls twice more, and a new set of people are ushering in. The attendant at the door motions for you to enter. Stepping inside, you see kind of what's laid out here. There's kind of a pedestal and a gallery to the left that is empty, and one to the right that's populated by 3 people, one of whom is already standing at a lectern. In the middle is the adjudicator, or arbiter, rather, excuse me, and he's motioning for you to take your positions at the left gallery. Once everybody's inside, the gallery is full. The chime rings a single time, and the doors are closed. Blue Gatorade is a flavor. He knocks his knuckles 3 times, rapping on the stone desk before him, and asks who will be speaking for each party.
Oni.
Well, the last time I tried to perform, I performed very poorly, even though I
Or
have
persuasion.
Oh, can we know what flavor? Can we know what we're gonna have to be rolling? And
Like,
then we
probably
can
skills and such.
decide. Well, I know, but can we know which?
It depends on who. No, because it depends on who sleeps. Nope. It depends on who speaks. Because if you wanted to roll for performance, then you would have to come up with a way to perform, right?
I feel like
So,
it definitely also depends on who sleeps.
so John's being a really great DM right now by not letting us cheat. So if we want someone to just talk for us or speak for us, it's gonna be probably a persuasion
Well,
roll. If you want to,
my charisma and my wisdom and intelligence are only 1. So I'm thinking that we should probably have a more charismatic person responsible for being the face of this arbitration.
I can lend a little bit of insight, given that Amon knew so much about these proceedings. There is a voice for each side. That is the person that is elected to speak. This is almost exclusively related to the person who will make the opening appeal for either side as to why you feel justified or correct in your position. They will also make the closing statement. Anybody in the group can be called as a witness, and so therefore anybody would have a chance to speak. The person that he's asking for now, called the voice, is just the person who will basically be making the opening and closing remarks. So, as Renan suggested, you probably want this to be a persuasive or, well-spoken person, someone who can perform or someone who can persuade a group of people, specifically the arbiter.
Okay.
I think it's still you, Oni.
Then I am happy to.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
At the end of the day, it's fucking dice. So
the best and worst part of this game.
the best laid plans.
Calls the voices to their respective lecterns and announces or reads basically the charges that are laid before you. That the sovereign state of Moot, has taken into custody a slaver ship and custodial goods. He reads down, you stand being accused of possession of contraband. You stand accused of the practice of slaving. You also did not properly register your ship with the port administrator, nor did you declare any of its cargo or pay tariffs on the goods. Looking to you, Oni, who is now in the lectern position as the voice, asks you to make your opening appeal.
Opening appeal.
Arbiter of Moot. Thank you for hearing our case with such swift expediency. We are grateful for the opportunity to make our appeal here with you today. As we explained on the docks, this is our first visit to this fine city, and the ship that we arrived in is not the ship that we were originally traveling in. That ship was destroyed, and this was the only suitable option that would get our party safely back to shore during our travels. We are not slavers. None of the people that arrived with us on our ship are slaves. They are all free people. And we expect that the great city of Moot will reimburse us after for the cost of the materials that you are able to salvage from this ship and or replace it with a similar value vessel that the sailors in our party may be able to continue to use for their travels. Of course, we understand that if there are any items or back taxes owed, that you will take that out of the value of the ship. However, I bring with me representatives from my party who will be able to speak to the value of the items that are on the ship and answer any questions that you have regarding them. We are not.
He gently chimes the thing, recognizing, or you recognize that means you have 1 minute left in your appeal.
We are not associated with the Silver Flame or any of the actions that you do. As you can see, we are friend to Tatarak and friend to all, and we believe in the value of a free and just society. Thank you.
I will allow you to make either a performance check or a persuasion check. At this point, representative of how good an opening appeal you performed. Remember that my house rule with skill challenges is once you use a skill, I would prefer that skill not be used again in this challenge. So if you're going to use performance, no one uses performance
my
again.
Persuasion is 1. I'm proficient in it. Do I get any benefit to that, or just my +1 from
You get the
stone?
benefit of adding your proficiency bonus to it.
Jesus. Oh, John.
19!
That is a success.
Not a fail.
The opposite side, or they're literally called the opposition when it's the city of Moot or arguing its own case against a citizen, or in this case, an infiltrator, an interloper. They argue the case that these are exactly the words that a slaver and a smuggler would use, that there's no proof that's been offered to them or to anyone yet that they are not slavers, only their word has been given, and we can't trust the word of an unknown foreign outsider, especially when we have physical evidence that suggests they are both of those things. Plus, we know much about this insidious cult that seeks to infiltrate our cities, and they show up brandishing its very same holy symbol in a ship packed with religious goods for performing all manner of rites and ceremony. We've worked so hard to expunge them from our city. We should just imprison these folks outright. Forget about paying them restitution for damaged goods or reclaimed property. They should be either expelled from the city or sent to the dungeon. Further, she ends her opening argument, or her appeal rather, by claiming that, or by letting the court know that you are also claiming to be members of Alea's Flame, a local band of heroes that have done nothing but good for the city of Moot, and that should be entered as character evidence that you are not who you claim to be.
And I would like to see her performance roll.
That's fair.
I need to know what I'm working with, and will I get an opportunity for a rebuttal?
Oh, matched. Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
I do like that game. Next, he has them, as like the prosecution, present a bunch of arguments, a bunch of reasons why you guys are everything that they say they are. It's not evidence so much as just the reclaimed Silver Flame figurehead, the truckload of possessions. you did have contraband. It's just whether you knew that or not,
Well,
whether you
yeah,
intended
we
that or
had their
not.
ship. We literally used it to get
For
away.
sure. The vessel itself is
We didn't
contraband.
dump the stuff off of it. We just needed it to get us safely.
Mhm. I mean, we all muse that it might at some point be a problem if we docked at a civilized city on this vessel, and it seems like you guys were not incorrect in that assumption. I would like the group to make a perception check. We will take the average of the 5 results.
Who's rolling for Draco?
Oh, Jesus, Renan. Really? Fuck you, dice.
Yeah.
And mine's at normal. Sorry. I didn't mean to have advantage clicked.
But I did.
Does anybody
I got
else
an
roll for
11
Draco?
with my plus
I got
one.
It. I got it. Hold on.
I don't have access to Draco's sheets. That's probably a good thing. Love you, Zach. Hate you, Draco.
Perception, right? Oh, hold on. Sorry, he had disadvantage on, and I don't know why, so he got the 19.
Wow. So only one person
Remember,
drove
plus
down our
one.
average.
The average is about 15, which is really strong. We're gonna give it to Hoppy, which makes sense. Hoppy, you are maybe bored. Let's be real. It's a lot of talky. There's just a lot of pedantia happening here. There aren't even beautiful ladies to look at. Like, this is just mind-numbingly boring. And you find yourself like, playing the game where you try to take one of your horns and fix it on a point in space and like use it to like smush heads and stuff. And as you're just playing your game, you notice that there's a woman in the gallery who's dressed in the white and silver vestments of the Silver Flame.
I bet you want me to unmute so I can respond.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm gonna point it out to whoever's closest to me, and I'm gonna try and. No, I'm not gonna try and sneak my way over there. Hopefully, I'm next to Renan because she might be able to sneak something over.
I'll sneaky sneak. Oh, you don't need me.
So Hoppy draws that to everybody's attention. Don't know if that's
Quiet.
don't know what that means, don't know what that's worth, but you all can see it now, plain as day. She's making no attempt to hide herself, but she is just sort of nestled in with a bunch of other people, seemingly unrelated to the Silver Flame, just kind of watching the proceedings here. Additionally, Amon, you notice something that you didn't see before, because there were people all over the floor, but the center of this room has an etched runic pattern on it, that you think is some kind of persistent spell. It looks not unlike the teleportation circles you'd find inside one of the Great Pyramids. It's definitely not that, but it's that same kind of like, worn over great use kind of
Built-in magic.
spell. Yeah, something that's inherent to the building that's been put here over, consistent, persistent use. Maybe somebody with some magic know-how could take a look at that.
That would be probably Draco. We have Draco.
I can't pilot him,
An Akarna.
but Meg can.
Yeah, I've got him open. What would you ask of him?
I would think Knowledge Arcana would be a good way to go to at least so that you guys know what that is. 13 is the minimum for success
I was gonna say,
here.
he does have an inspiration token if we need it.
But 14, right?
4 successes. 14, you're right with the token. You have to watch me. I'll cheat you.
Oh, right. Thank you.
You ain't cheating me.
A persistent zone of truth. not mentioned in their legal documents, there is apparently a magical zone of truth. Perhaps this is where witnesses testify. Perhaps it's a compulsion order that can be called upon. You're not sure of its order or purpose, but you certainly know that in this room, that central circle is a zone of truth.
Is that where I'm standing?
No, you both are like left and right. You're in the left gallery here.
Okay.
And they're on the right side here. But at the center, where I'm pinging now, is a zone of truth spell.
Okay.
Okay.
Which does pretty much what you'd expect it to do. It compels anyone in it to speak only the truth.
Well, then, can one of us just walk into the middle of the room and they'll know that we're telling the truth?
You probably have to be invited into
Yeah.
the zone of truth.
Well, and might we overshare? We'll wait and see how this plays out.
The arguments that they're making against you seem to be half-hearted. Like, you can tell that they're just kind of going through legal motions. No one here seems to be like particularly invested in having you arrested. They're just kind of going through the motions. You get the sense that like you might be close to a win. Like, you don't feel like there's been any devastating blows. There hasn't been any huge setbacks. You may not be getting the ship back in its entirety, but you're certainly not going to jail, and you may even walk away with some money. It's starting to feel like a win to you. At that point, the prosecution, the other side, asks that a special guest speaker be allowed to the lectern. A cloaked member of the Silver Flame makes her way to the center of the room.
Oh no.
Guards draw their swords, and she's allowed to the right side under escort to the pulpit, where the arbiter says this is exceedingly out of order. What possible purpose could you have for inviting this witch into our presence? And the moot appointed attorney tells the arbiter that this woman has first-hand knowledge that is pertinent to the case at hand, and if you'd like to, she will relay that information now. He considers it a moment and decides, despite his personal distaste for the Silver Flame and everything she stands for, he does have a duty to the truth to hear what she has to say. Maybe predictably, she identifies all of you as members of her coterie, who have...
Is she in the zone of truth?
She is not. She's standing at the right pulpit. She explains that you are all members of the Silver Flame coterie, that she's the head of, that you have gone against the teachings of the Silver Flame and stole the vessel, absconding with thousands of gold pieces worth of ritual equipment, and that you are known slaves and abusers, which she turns to the gallery people, definitely goes against the teachings of the Silver Flame, who are all about brotherhood and equality.
I know how I want to respond.
Insinuates
can I
that you have to wait for they are given the same 2-minute interval that you are given, but you get a 1-minute rebuttal.
Okay.
Basically, she does exactly what you'd expect someone in a situation to do. She just lays... You are the Antichrist. She just lays everything at the feet of you and your band of heroes. Like, even the flea infestation in the southern part of Moot is your fault somehow. Like,
I would like to force move her into the circle of truth, the zone of truth.
No, it's okay. I got it, I think.
All right.
Maybe. We'll see.
He looks to you, Oni, as the voice for a rebuttal.
I don't know what I will roll, but Oni is a gladiator, right? Like, she is a performer and a fighter. She is going to walk straight into the middle of the room, which puts her right in the middle of the room, and she's going to say, every single word out of this woman's mouth has been a lie. We have nothing to do with that organization, and kill every member of the Silver Flame that we encounter. And because I'm in the zone of truth, he's going to know that I'm telling the truth. Suck it.
Bitch.
He asks you to withdraw from the ring, that the arbiter has not called for the activation of the magics within.
I'm just gonna be like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm gonna play dumb, like I don't know what difference it makes where I stand.
He said, "You crossed my great hall from your lectern to this position and not knowing where you stood."
Yeah. He
Odie,
called
I
your
need you to
bluff.
make a deception check.
He called your bluff.
You're gonna lie inside the circle of truth.
Yeah! I did it!
And that's
I
the
did
circle of
it! I did it!
truth.
Yes.
Because technically Draco did the roll and no one told
I say,
Oni, and this is
choo-
exactly how she would have responded because she would have tried to punch that woman. She would have wanted to get as
choosing
close
words
as possible to intimidate her.
very, very
Oni
carefully.
is
Oni
very
just
pissed
says,
off.
She's
I
a
have
fighter. This
only
is how she would have responded. She wouldn't have known.
honorable arbiter. I have only just recently become aware of what this is. Of course, I wouldn't have crossed unnecessarily. I'm just very I'm trying to give a fervent and lively defense for myself and my colleagues. You have achieved a number of successes equal to or greater than the number I have signed out for the skill challenge. Because of your testimony in the zone of truth, he is prepared to render a verdict. He needs a few moments to consider things and write down some numbers on a sheet of parchment. Both sides are asked to return to the gallery and wait quietly. You guys are free to talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. If there's anything you want to discuss, or if there's anything you want to, obscenely gesture across the way, now is the appropriate time to do that.
I am livid and I want to know why the opposition
And my
would have
ghost-
even allowed that woman to have an audience. So obviously,
Because
they are
obviously
up to
someone's
something.
working with the Sames.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are up to something and it needs to be addressed within this community. So I don't know if there's someone within this process that we are talking to that isn't just our party, or if it's just our party that we're talking to right now, but Oni's pissed. She gonna get some. She's gonna go to the pits and wallop some people.
Properly direct that anger.
Specifically fake Oni. I am done with this place.
Yeah, we gotta find this. We gotta find these people. Also, nobody put me in. I didn't get to win.
The arbiter eventually comes back with his verdict. On the count of you standing accused of being slavers and owning slaves, he has rendered you not guilty. The city of Moot recognizes you were just people found in the wrong place at the wrong time and did the best you could with an unbelievable set of circumstances. Unfortunately, fortunately, he also rules that you were not in possession of contraband, since that was the only vessel available to you, since the only alternative would be death. There is no logical basis for him to conclude you had any other choice. He's going to let you slide on the contraband possession of the Silverhand ship. However, you did not follow port protocol, you did not register with the port administrator, nor did you pay tariffs on any of the trade goods inside. It is his judgment, therefore, that he will liquidate the vessel and all of its contents, pay the required tariffs, and once all of that is done, give you whatever's left after all debts have been paid.
Perfect. That's what we wanted.
Okay.
He gives you a small oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a round metal band that would like clip to the inside of your upper earlobe. There's a very specific name for that type of jewelry.
An ear cuff?
Ear cuff, that's the word I was looking for, thank you. And tells you that once the court has concluded its business and the arbiter is prepared to find or to send you the remaining balance, should there be any, he will contact you via this device.
Nice.
Okay, I'll put it in.
Buffett.
I have it on my ear.
Okay.
Do I have an opportunity to respond?
It would be out of order. I mean, he's still there.
Oh, okay. That's
like his the judge has banged his gavel, the chime has toned, the door's open. Like he's physically in the room and you're able to speak to him, but like there's no proceeding here that says and now you get to chat with the judge.
do a closing statement.
No. There would be if he was uncertain. He would like to hear from everybody again. but in this circumstance, he feels like it was pretty cut and dry.
Yay, money. Okay, done.
Maybe.
Yay, justice.
Yay, justice.
Yay!
Can we
I'm gonna
bring up
fucking
our
kill that silver flamed bitch.
Can we
He
bring
does.
up
He
our
does in his
concern about
closing
this?
remarks does say that it's fortunate for you that murders that happen in areas that are not moot are not his ability to adjudicate on, but you did technically confess to murder.
Of Silverhand assholes, and we will continue to do so. And I'm
I
gonna look
wouldn't have
straight
said
at that
ghost.
woman.
Just warning you.
Oh, the threat is not implied. It is blatantly shared.
I put us back to the moot map since we are done in the halls of arbitration for now.
Now we're on our way to figure out where this fake Oni and friends is.
Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I think it said we'd only play till about 10:30. With the remaining 30 minutes, I feel like that's enough time for you guys to get in a fight in the pits, or to do some selling and/or buying of things, because I think that might end up being a
Fight,
slightly more
fight,
complicated
fight,
process than we
fight,
realized.
Fight.
Fight!
Okay.
Fight!
Oni demands blood.
Ooh, Oni's out for blood.
Damn.
You guys are gonna have a fun afternoon.
This is not the elaborate, almost religious reverence that gets paid to Catal in a lot of the other arenas and a lot of the other cities you've been to. Here, Catal seems to sort of be relegated to like the pit fighting that it actually is. It still has a place in the economy. It still has a position of reverence, but since this is kind of a law and order based city, this is not quite underground, but certainly not the elevated, like high status symbol that it is in some of the other metropolises you've been to. There are fights available all day, like every 4 hours on the 4 hour mark for small purses, and at high noon and at midnight there are high purse fights that people gamble on. Gambling is only allowed in those select periods of time, although you suspect that there are unscrupulous characters that make small hedge bets for every fight. The Master of the Exchange offered you the opportunity to participate in any of these fights. That payout is based on how good a show you do and how far you advance. So there's no guarantee of pay except after the fact. If you accept those terms, they're about 45 minutes shy of their noon fight, so they've got some warm up things to sort of get the crowd juiced. The pay for these would be lower, but they also should be significantly easier. Would you rather wait for the advanced noon fight, or do you want to get your feet wet and get some warm ups in?
Can we
Warm up.
see who is scheduled for the advanced noon fight and see if the fake Alea's flame is listed?
You can. They are not presently on the roster for today.
For any of the matches.
Bitches. Can
At least
I?
not by that name.
Hey, may I bow out of the fighting and see if I can't sneak around and
Please.
listen in on conversations, eavesdrop,
Can
figure
we-
out if I know?
Can we have Draco do the same thing, like moving around a different way, since that way we don't have to pilot him, and then the three of us will go into the arena, Amon, Hoppy, and I, for the lesser fights?
It's fine with me.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start, figure out who's higher up in society, see if I can't listen in on conversations, and then maybe ask around about like the popular fighters. John, that is my goal for the time.
Understood.
And are we gonna treat Draco like a help, harm, heal NPC, or do I need to have him up?
If you don't want him present, that's totally fine with me. I will try to make the encounter easier.
I'm just wondering if I need
you
to
want
have
him.
Oh, my computer is doing something super weird.
I think it's okay to skip him, but if you want him, it's something we can easily do.
I say we do like a tag team, just like the Chunky Duck.
The warm-up event that your team has been assigned is called Alchemist's Nightmare. Each fight seems to have like a theme, and as you approach the Catal pit, you see that there are 4 gates. You're being ushered into the pit through one of the gates from the south. There are respective gates just like this to the north, east, and west. As you walk in, there are a series of alchemical glass vials on small wooden stands in like the hemispherical south of where you're entering. And as you enter, 2 very short, possibly dwarven figures kick over 2 very large wooden casks that are full of black, almost bile-like ooze. And as soon as they kick it over, it begins to spring to life, kind of animating and clawing at the ground, consuming the barrels, and taking a roughly amorphous blob-like shape. I'll move you to the battlefield now, and once I do, we'll need to roll initiative.
Ooh.
Ew, blob monsters.
Jabba the Hutt.
Oni, did you roll initiative?
I did not, sorry.
Don't be sorry, be initiative. Hoppy, you have the initiative here. These weird blob-like constructs start amassing quite a bit of shape, like they were just puddles on the ground, but as they start to rise, having consumed the wooden barrels, they're now, these giant sort of mounds, almost 7 feet tall. A lot of mass to them. Their characteristics are unknown to you, but there's only one way to find out.
Well, I will do what I do best: run up and hit it with a stick.
Seems good.
Rage and go after this one. And I'm going to assume it's not hard to hit, so I'm going to do all the buttons. Weapon advantage. Great sword.
Nice.
21 and crit.
And
Both
roll on
hit.
the table.
Or
Pull up the table, sorry. I forgot to open it this morning.
that sucks ass.
All right. You attack with your greatsword, feverishly swinging in a fit of violent rage. You slash through it twice, and as you slash, it's like striking a river. Your blade cuts through it effortlessly and with zero friction, leaving absolutely no visible damage at all. The blade passed through. There's a small hint of corrosive acid on your blade. And it says you feel it's imperative to press the advantage no matter the cost. You can choose to gain advantage on all attacks against your target until the end of your next turn, but if you do so, enemies have advantage on their attacks against you. You already have reckless,
That's
so
reckless
I feel like
attack,
that's kind of, yep. I think you're done. That's move, bonus, attack, yeah?
Move, bonus, attack, yeah.
Amon, it's your turn. Hoppy charged in, slashed at them feverishly, but seems to have done very little forward progress in terms of killing or dissipating these blob monsters.
Okay. I kind of missed the first part. They came out of something, right?
Yeah, they were like in large barrels.
Are those barrels still there?
No, these oozes consumed them.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to start with Hunter's Mark. Cast that so it's there.
Do you have any kind of like would it be Arcana to learn to see if there's anything we can infer about these creatures?
On its turn, I'm going to give you a chance.
Okay. Sorry.
And is there, like, just looking at them, do they look like anything that I know about or have come across before in my travels?
It is pretty unlikely. I'd allow you to make an Arcana check. You are no stranger to oozes. This particular family of ooze you're not intimately familiar with, but you do know that oozes tend to be highly resilient to certain types of damage. This one might just be highly resilient to slashing damage.
Okay.
They all almost always have some kind of weakness as well. Again, a lack of familiarity with this one specifically makes it hard for you to know, but if you guys experiment with different damaging types, you might find that something is more effective against it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm going to attack with my longbow, the one on the right that I've cast Hunter's Mark on.
Okay.
It's one shot to start.
It hits. The arrow sticks into it, being sort of slowed by its viscous form. And like there's it has no mouth, but you swear it kind of groans.
Okay, then I'll do it again.
A second hit for 10.
Can we see health bars?
Sorry, this is imported from Eberron.
Thanks.
My bad.
Did I miss something?
No, Amon's making some progress.
Slow progress. Alright, that'll be it for my turn.
Okay. Where you look at the creature, it takes its turn. In the broad slash where Hoppy had cut across it, sort of 45 degree from, upper left to lower right, there's still like a weird seam in the black ooze where he took his greatsword and slashed all the way through it. Each half begins to pull against the middle seam until literally it separates into two separate oozes.
Uh-oh.
In addition to the first one? Oh, okay.
So that's fun.
Don't cut it.
It seems like dealing slashing damage to it helps it separate like a starfish into two separate and discrete entities. Both of these will now make an attack against Hoppy with its pseudopod. It's like a regular pod, but pseudo-y.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh!
Whoop.
Oh! What? Don't touch it!
So 20 hits. It looks like you take 2 points of bludgeoning and 20 points of acid for a total of 22 damage. And are you wearing armor, Mark? Or is it just your barbarian loincloth and a shield?
Loincloth and a shield. I'm not
Awesome.
even holding a shield.
So no armor class penalty for you. This one will lumber very slowly over here, but not quite be able to reach anybody.
Don't let it
Yeah.
touch you.
The second one will pseudopod mark. I think that misses. You're 18, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't roll at advantage. Let's make one more. Still miss. Alright, Oni, it is your turn. And I gotta put these guys back where they were.
We don't know what these potions do, right?
We do not. Well, I do. You don't.
Alright. I'm going to navigate over to here without moving into range of that thing. I'm going to pick up this potion and I'm going to chuck it at it.
Okay, as you pick it up from its wooden pedestal, grasping it in hand, turning it over, it is labeled Alchemist's Fire.
Okay.
And if you chuck it, I need you to make a ranged attack roll.
You want me to just
If
roll
you
that
have-
longbow?
Yeah, plus proficiency, so yeah, longbow attack roll would work just fine.
Are you kidding me?
Do you have a inspiration?
No. I
If-
could technically action surge and do it again, but I was hoping that I could just, since I'm so close to it, just chuck it. But
It's not even the one that Mark was attacking. I was gonna say I'd give you advantage on it because of his crit, but it's not even the same one. Yeah, I think you just missed. Roll an 8-sided die. Can you tell me what it says? I'm not in the same tab.
5.
Thank you. Hey.
If I action surge, can I do it again?
Yes, of course you can. Give me one quick second though. I'm sorry, my art assets won't load. I just wanted to put a thing on the board to represent the fire it's created. Can you see that okay? That's where that one landed. Bloop. No problem. You throw this one dead center. It lands thusly.
And what happens?
I'm going to move him to the side slightly just so that you can see the fire is still there. I'd like you to roll 2d4 plus 4 as damage dice.
Nice.
The fire seems to lap at its oil-like body, burning it intensely. It screams in a high-pitched rattle as portions of it sort of pop, pock, and just become gas that expels into the air. Also noteworthy is that the lower extremities that touch the ground are melting and becoming stuck to the stone floor that is so cold. So it's kind of like partially rooted in place. It was already slow, but now it is very slow.
Okay.
Hop B, it's your turn.
Okay. Since my sword didn't work, I think I'm just gonna punch it in my face. I'm going to I should disengage, but I don't really have a disengage is a full action.
It is an action, yes. So that would be in lieu of an attack.
Then I'm gonna punch this guy in the face, the green guy.
Okay, reminder that in 5e, punching is not terribly effective.
Are you
Unless you
using
have-
Knuckles of Knocking?
Say, unless you have the unarmed fighting style, it will do a base damage of 1.
Okay. No, I can use the Knuckles of Menaki, but I would probably want to disengage if I was going to do that. Well, since my sword's not going to work with them, I'm just going to disengage. I'm going to run over towards these over here, and I'll look at them next round.
Okay. Hoppy runs away. The crowd boos, boo, boo. Renan, while you're mixing in the crowd here, I would like you to make a perception check.
Oh, the dice are not rolling for me today.
There are a number of kind of interesting conversations happening. You seem to have positioned yourself well. You hear people talking about the trick to this fight is ... or shame they're not the real Alea's flame. And all of that is very interesting and exactly what you came here for. But in this moment, you can't help but notice that two very large men are exchanging bets like round per round with this, and they are not taking care at all with their money. There is just gold hanging off their belts everywhere, and it is just so tantalizingly accessible that for this moment, I'm gonna say that's maybe all that Renan really sees is just easy to grab,
Money.
potentially ill-gotten gains.
He's a dirty dog in her soul. Can
You
I
are
take
close
some?
enough to these people. If you would like to make a sleight of hand check, I'm happy to allow you to lighten their purse a bit.
I'm so scared. I'm rolling terribly today. Oh!
Inspiration token! Inspiration token! Draco's gonna give you his inspiration token. Don't get
And-
caught. Don't get caught.
No, I'm just gonna walk away. It's like I bumped him and realized I'm having a bad day.
Yep. He turns around immediately, grabbing his purse strings right where your fingers were. They nimbly sort of pull back. And he just leers at you like a disgusting older man looking at a 16-year-old girl. Like, and you already can just imagine like the worst case scenario playing through your mind. And
Mm-hmm.
he's just, move along,
Yeah.
little girl, unless you want to be my wife.
No, thank you.
Not that.
Ew, fuck, gross. Don't even do that in real life, John.
It's super creepy. But yeah, you're able to walk away if you're not going to attempt to take anything, kind of scot-free. He just, a pretty lady bumped into him, and he got to be a lecher for free. Good.
Yeah.
It is Amon's turn. Amon, you see your sister up to no good in the stands. She looks like she's okay, but she just can't. She just can't not.
All right. I'm going to dip.
Yep, go.
I'm going to dip my arrows in this flame that's next to me. See if I can get them on fire. And since I still have Hunter's Mark on what I assume is one of these two that is split, I'll just call it green. Fire my first arrow at Mr. Green Goo Guy.
10 damage from the attack, and I'd like you to roll a d6 of fire.
Woo!
Nice. It doesn't have quite the same effect as the napalm alchemist fire does, but it's certainly doing a ton of damage to him. Like, once the arrow is subsumed into his chest, you can see a small fire beginning to burn inside that's carrying sort of like this orange shadowy glow through the thick viscous outer material. Certainly a very effective attack.
I'm going to do it again.
For 2, yeah. And you can roll the d6 for fire if you hit on your own, whenever you want to do that maneuver. Because I might forget to prompt you. That's a hit. For 10 plus a 6 of fire.
Mm-hmm.
14. That
Can
one.
we see the health bars for those?
I was gonna ask if it when it's split you could see it or not.
Mhm.
You cannot. Okay. That one's just about half dead, and the other one
Damn.
remains at full.
They're robust little goo guys. That's it for me.
This guy moves 1 square.
But he wasn't all the way over, so he's now half in, half out. You moved him off of the fire.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll move the fire. I just need to be able to see the fire.
Mhm.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Those two move but can take no other action. And the big red one will make a pseudopod attack against Amon. Does 20 hit? Yep.
Most
28
likely.
points. 8 points of bludgeoning, 20 points of acid. And your armor begins to acidically melt away as it pulls its pseudopod off, and it's like, that alien sizzle where
I
it
protected
touched you, and
from
it's
four.
okay. So 24 total damage. But your chest piece is sizzling and popping as acid is slowly burning through it. Oni, it is your turn.
I think I picked this one up already. So that one.
You did. Sorry, that one's gone.
Yep. I'm gonna step over here, pick up this alchemist fire, and try to throw it right here on these two.
You know the drill.
All right. Good luck, everybody else. Does the 16 do it?
I'll allow it.
And do I get to take a second attack?
Strictly speaking, yes.
So if I wanted to move up here and pick up this bottle and read what it says, could I? And potentially throw it? Or is that too many actions?
No, that seems fair.
Okay. What does this one say?
Picking it up, it's a healing tonic. It's not terribly descriptive, but that sounds promising. When you shake it, it does glow pink and sparkly like most healing potions do.
Can I toss it to Amon?
You can. Here's the problem with tossing it. If your throw is not good, he will make a dexterity saving throw. If he fails, it shatters and breaks on the stone floor.
Then
I'm fine with it.
I'm trying to think of something like engaging and interesting that I could do for the audience, but I'm not really coming up with any ideas. I'm gonna stand here and just like taunt them. That's the best I got.
Okay.
Do I need to roll damage for everybody? For the alchemy fire?
It's when they start their turn.
Oh, I see.
So as much as I hate that mechanic, you will have to be on my ass to remember that.
So they didn't take damage last turn.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. We did. We should do that. Yep. And then if they begin their turn.
Okay. So it's 2d4 plus 4.
Yes. Please and thank you.
Ew. That was dumb. Can I roll for each fire?
Sure.
Yeah, that's better. for the
Hot
little
girl
guys.
privilege.
Definitely better for the little guys.
I just feel like everyone should get to sleep with the DM, okay? It's not fair.
I think he's pretty reasonable. He would have let you guys do that too.
Hoppy, with a 19, it's your turn. You are close enough to the wooden pedestal containing one of those other healing tonics. You might have even heard Oni read it. Healing tonic.
I'll grab it, and I guess chug it while I run across to the other side.
And this is where we find out it was
That's
poison.
that's a bonus action, right?
It is a bonus action, yes, sir.
So, can I make it over to this one and see what it is? Or,
When you say this one, I don't see anything.
The green ones.
sorry.
Oh, sure.
green ones.
No, you're good. Couple of things that we have to talk about at the beginning of your turn. Last turn, you did not take any damage, nor did you attack anything, so your rage ends.
Yes.
If you're drinking the potion, the red potion, you immediately die. Just kidding. Roll 4d4 plus 10. This is an empowered healing elixir.
Damn, where do we get those? And who I gotta sell for them?
We will be pocketing the other one.
Yeah.
Hoppy, you regain 24 hit points, or full. Reading that one, they are potions of poison resistance.
Oh, we need to get
so-
on one of those and the other healing potion. So take that yourself and then bring the other one with you and come join him on. Oh, you can't move, but
can I can't do another potion. Can I do Knuckles of Knocking to as my attack?
I assume you used your attack to move as far as you did.
Oh, sorry, didn't think this was that big. In that case, because I don't want to do that. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is as far as I can go. So okay, so I'll be right here because I don't want to go another round without doing damage.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and burn another rage. And I will Knuckles of Knocking. Big dude?
The red one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, green dude. He's the closest to me. Maybe I can bait him off.
are these also having that the goo that is touching the cold stone away from the fire is hardening?
They're slow,
of my cool face.
19 hits is the 8 points.
The bolt is actually the pancake.
All right.
Actually, Joe.
Daddy, you're interrupting. The
Daddy!
actually were the owners of the bank
Okay,
hang out.
but all right.
This is very important stuff right now.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm done. Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
So we don't know what
Renan,
these are yet.
up in the stands, you can sort of mingle with the crowd again. It takes you a moment to sort of put the bad taste out of your mouth from your last experience. You settle behind a group of wealthy women, affluent women, probably not their own wealth though. You get the sense they're sort of like, kept wives, or these are like the Real Housewives of Moot. And they are just talking all kinds of shit about the fighters and how inept they are and how they really enjoyed the last performance they watched with their favorite gladiatorial queen, Oni. And she goes, I understand this one is taking her name even? That's so shameful and embarrassing. And another one goes, well, I certainly hope they use the silver bottles. Wouldn't that just be the best? She goes, I love Alchemist's Nightmare. It's my favorite fight here.
They think that we're the fake ones. Fuck these people. Duly noted. Here.
But they imply that they seem to imply that
Sinister.
something bad will happen if the silver potions are used.
Yeah.
Do you
Something
want
bad will happen to who?
Something exciting for the crowd.
That's what we get paid for, right?
Indeed. Amon, it's your turn.
Renan, are you gonna relay that?
Yeah, I'll get close enough to be able to whisper it into someone's ear or something.
Or something.
Oh, I can't hear John.
Oh, I was talking to myself. I said maybe
Oh.
sign language.
No, I mean, like, there's got to be an area where I can walk down and use me and Oni's secret language to be like, no silver ones.
Renan conveys
Don't
to you
use
that
the
idea
silver
of
one?
the silver potions Oni are bad in some form or fashion.
Correct.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Amon, your turn.
Papa?
You are surrounded
Oh.
by slow-moving, inflamed oozes.
Oh.
Am I in melee?
You are in melee with all three.
Dad.
So if I move, they all get a separate opportunity of attack.
That is correct, unless you were to take your action to disengage, which means no attacks opportunity while you move, but that would be instead of attacks.
Oh.
Yep. I mean, we're here to fight, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna light up 2 more arrows and do what I was doing.
Remember that ranged attacks made in melee are at disadvantage.
Oh, then I will not do that.
Thought that might affect your decision. They do have,
Yeah.
like, they are the proverbial broadside of a barn. It's
yeah, but they're
pretty
so
likely
close
you'll
to me
hit,
that-
but I just wanted you to know that.
yeah. In that case, I'm going.
Disengage and get behind me. Seriously, I can take 2 more hits than you can.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to disengage. I'm too close for comfort, and I don't want to get subsumed. So I'm going to disengage and move over here. Is this what these are? These the silver potions?
They are, yep.
Okay.
What do they say?
Yeah. I want to read.
Sprint
Yeah.
away and bump into one. They are labeled with skull and crossbones. No official label, but as you bump into one, the silvery fluid in it, like, energizes and lightning bounces around in the bottle for a minute. Once it's no longer being jostled, it settles to like a silver, almost mercurial fluid. But when agitated, it was electric.
Okay. Then I think that is all I can do with my turn.
'Tis their turn now.
Okay, the first one is going to take 11 damage,
hmm
and the second ones are going to take 9 damage. I figure it's only fair to roll every time, so that way it wasn't cheating.
Well, as long as you figure.
Well, I can't attack them with my swords, so...
I mean, you can. Absolutely,
we
you
didn't
can.
test the God-touched weapon idea to see whether or not it would work, but I really don't want these guys to split into more things, and I don't have anything else to attack them with that's fire.
That's all I can move, but that's enough to be able to pseudopod. Does a 22 hit?
Wall of Steel!
Okay. Wonder Woman.
And I'm gonna make
So-
it look super cool for the audience.
Make a performance check.
With a 12.
13.
So you take
a
only
13.
3 points of damage.
I protected her from 6 of that, so she should have
No damage.
8 of that.
8.
No.
Oh.
8 plus 15 is how much?
Wait, how much damage?
23.
You took 26, so 26 minus 23 is
Why are you
Ah.
asking me to do math?
Sorry.
3. What?
Just tell me how much damage I take.
I tried.
D&D is all math. It's all just mathing. Yeah.
I marked
2.
my hit points down, but my thing still says 59.
1, 2. Actually, easier. Maybe 1, 2 this way. Not the fire. Not the fire! Alright, that does let me pseudopod Happy for 3 points of bludgeoning and 22 points of acid, total of 25 damage. And that's it for my turn. Oni, it's your turn.
Alright, we're gonna try God Touch Weapon on this guy. Just cause.
Maybe you do it once and see what happens before you roll 3.
Too late.
Have you met Oni?
So God Touch Weapon still makes them switch. So I'm sorry, I'm tired and I just want this to be over. I understand that was really honest. But this is...
So very sorry.
Oh, we should have had Draco in this.
Yeah, it is taking a really
Yeah,
long time.
This sucks. This is not fun.
Our fire guy.
Would you like to pilot Draco, or do you want to just pause here and we can pick this up next week if you're
Draco
tired
isn't
and spent?
in the auditorium, and I'm sure having him come down in here to fight with us is going to be some kind of breach against the pit, because...
Usually the
We
fighters
would
that start
start
the
with
fight are the
him.
fighters that end the fight.
Right, so I imagine him joining us will just cause more people to turn against us.
Yeah, you can also surrender. Like, there's no harm in just, these aren't meant to be fights to the death. Only Grand Catal in Heliopolis is allowed to do to the death.
I have no way of force moving these things back into the fire. We've already used the fire vials. I really, there's nothing that I think Oni can do, because all of her power is going to be in using the sword. We can't use bows and we can't use swords or axes. So
I'm just gonna yell Oni and point at the silver things.
Just throw one into them. What's
Okay.
gonna fucking happen? Just throw it into the middle.
I did my three attacks. If Amon is next, what do I need to do to disengage? Do I have to roll something?
Well, you can't disengage because it's an action. So after attacking, you don't have the option to disengage.
Okay, and we don't know what that's gonna do, so I was gonna have him throw it at this giant pile of stuff, but probably not. Okay, my turn's over.
It is Hoppy's turn.
Okay. Actually, I think it's the monster's turn.
No, they go before me. They just got moved on the turn order.
Yeah.
I'm going to I have javelin. Can I hit? And that does piercing damage. Can I use that as a spear?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna attack this guy in front of me.
Okay.
Won't that work like the arrow? Because Amon shot 2 arrows and cut the guy in half.
No, I haven't
that's
touched
slashing
anyone.
damage.
So, let's. Or can I use my greatsword just to poke for piercing damage? Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't really work that way. The weapon's damage type is slashing.
Okay. That's fine. Then I'm going to click all the buttons. Can I do Great Weapon Mastery with a javelin?
No,
When
because
used
it's not a
this
great
way.
weapon.
Okay. Need a spear.
So it's only a good weapon.
It's
All right.
okay.
Hit.
And I can get my horse
see.
in there, too.
21. 23, 28.
Yep.
He is lead at 8 hit points. It is Amon's turn.
How big are these silver containers?
Roughly the size of like a hand grenade. I just made them large on this map so they were viewable.
Okay. And I want to very carefully pick one up and just throw it in between. I want to try to get to break in between these two right here.
Okay. As you pop the cork, like exposure to the air and the jostling to get it into position, it just expels a bolt of lightning that arcs in a straight line between you and Hoppy. Everything in that line gets affected by the chain lightning spell. The two oozes are unaffected by the damage but do split into additional oozes and they begin to vibrate violently. They are now hasted, and Mark will need to make a dexterity saving throw against the lightning for half damage.
What the hell?
She did say it was a very bad thing. Yep, you take only 11 points of lightning damage. I revisit the, do you guys want to surrender and call this done? Do we want to pause this until we come back next session?
Let's surrender.
No, I don't want to come back to this. Let's just finish it. I don't care if we surrender or if we fight, because now that we know that Hoppy can javelin stuff, maybe he can just finish it all off. I do not want to start the next session with this fight.
Okay.
Don't you have like a...
all I have is the sword.
I mean, you have arrows.
I have the sword and I have the longbow that do piercing damage. Piercing works?
And I have
Alright.
Searing Smite, but that only happens if I hit him with the sword, which is going to split him.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So we know that slashing damage and lightning damage causes them to split, but everything else seems like it's fair game, and fire seems very effective.
Alright.
I'm fine. Yeah, if you guys want to surrender, like I say, it doesn't bother me at all, and I don't want this to be a fight that nobody's having fun in. If that's where we are, then let's just bow out of this one.
Let's jump out. Sorry.
I was hoping this would be like challenging fun, not challenging frustrating.
If we had had Draco, this would have been a completely different scenario, because we would have had Fire Guy and we would have had his Flame Orb, but without him in this pit, this is not a fight that we are set up to win at all. Which maybe works in our advantage because we're supposed to be the fake Oni anyway, so maybe we just lean into that to try to draw out the other party and it becomes a strategic advantage, but...
I like that.
Okay. Oni taps out, and the bells toll, boos happen, people throw garbage in the arena. The oozes are corralled back by their alchemical masters into metallic urns, and this fight is over.
I am Shane.
Yeah. Hoppy's not very happy.
Sorry, that was sort of a fail on my part.
No, we just didn't have the right members of our party in here. Because if Renan was in there, she would have been shooting them with the arrows.
Yeah, and I didn't realize until this last round that I could have been using the longbow. But I was throwing the potions, so I just I can't. Once the alchemist's fire was on the ground and they moved out of it, there wasn't anything that I could do to put them back into it. So
you can always grapple a thing, In
But
this
then I'd have
instance,
to touch it, and I don't want to damage my armor. Like, that
Sure,
wasn't
I'm just
obviously
saying-
going to be something I did.
I'm just saying that there are options.
Mm.
Sorry for putting you guys in a difficult
No, it's
pickle.
fine.
Okay.
I-
Hopefully we can maybe use this as an opportunity to buy like a bludgeoning weapon or a piercing weapon, only just to have, so you have different types of damage.
well,
All I had was,
I have the bow,
Javelin.
which can do piercing.
but if you can't use that in melee.
Sorry, I wanted to actually read that.
Get a
Okay.
hammer. All right. Let's talk about next session. I think we are down Michelle and Caleb. Is that true?
Correct.
I'm
Yeah.
going to have a German in my life, so the next 3 weeks are going to be a little bit weird.
Okay.
If we are down 2 and a third iffy, do we want to just punt next weekend then, and we'll come back on not the 15th but the 22nd?
22nd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be okay.
Let's plan on that, pending German things. Let's assume the 22nd at 9 a.m. and I will have fewer black oozes in your life.
Cool.
It's called a
All
black
right.
pudding, for the record, so you know what to hate.
Black pudding.
It's
Okay.
called a what?
It's called a black pudding.
Silver flame and black pudding.
Okay. A recipe
Alright.
for misery.
All right, guys.
Bye,
See you in a couple
Guys.
weeks.